There we go. Good morning. Good morning. I am Andreas Johansson, Director of Operations at Streetsboro City Schools. We are so excited that you're with us today. Hopefully you are ready to go, caffeinated, because we have a session on Flipgrid by Missy Payton, who is, she just came from being a first grade teacher. Now she's going to be 4 or 5 teacher of technology and gifted. And she's one of our amazing technology team members at Streetsboro. She's going to teach us all about Flipgrid. We do see some other folks here, and we love that you're with us. I see Molly and Dan's there. Molly and maybe Dan. No, Dan and maybe Molly will help co-host. We'll see what happens here. We are live and we're recording. Send all of your questions in chat and we'll get them to Missy. We'll take a sort of a Q&A towards the end. We are getting recorded. I think that's all we have. We have a certificate of attendance, so watch the chat. We'll send that out for you. And Missy, take it away.
All right, thank you. Well, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining my session. As Andreas said, this is my 19th year of teaching, and I'm making the switch this year to technology teacher for 4th and 5th grade and working with gifted students at our elementary school. So I'm really excited. But prior to this, I spent the majority of my time in 1st grade, and our district had a really great program that Dan and Molly that we just talked about started, and Andreas, and it's a Google cohort. So staff members meeting once a week, learning all things Google. And I joined, I think it was the first one we had. And my passion was ignited for technology from Molly and Dan and Andreas and all the amazing tools that you can use to support our kids and support learning. And it's interesting because, as Andreas said, a lot of people don't think that you can use the same tech tools in the primary grades, the early grades, kindergarten, 1st grade, and of course all the way up to 12th grade, but you really can integrate it with any grade level. You just have to keep trying. And I was thinking about when Andreas was just speaking, when the recording got a little bit messed up, that I always told my students that I was learning along with them. You know, I would try things that I only learned about from Dan and Molly, and then I was bringing them in, you know, thinking I was totally prepared, and then not being familiar with it. I know one time, the first time I wanted to use Google Drawings with my class, I had it all set up, I thought, with everybody getting their own. And what happened was we were all, the entire class, 24 kids, on the same Google Drawing. And if you've ever done that, it was crazy town. Everybody was like, what's happening? I don't know. So then I tried to fix it, but not being familiar with it, I said, you know what? I'm learning too. It's not working today. Mr. Stitzel's going to come tomorrow and he's going to help us and we're going to learn from him. And I think that's a lot of people's hesitation with using technology for younger grades, that if you don't know everything about it, you don't want to be seen as not knowing something. And I mean, the kids and I had a great time learning. And by like that very next day, Dan can say too, they were adding photos and just taking the ball and rolling on day 1 or day 2, but the first one didn't count. So
it's all about attitude, and we're excited to share it with the rest of the world here. And if you have a question after today or later, like Dan and Missy and Molly, they're on the call, and myself, we're not afraid to reach out and help you, even if you're not in Streetsboro. That's okay with us. We just want you to be passionate and learn along with the kids. And so, Missy, we're ready. Flipgrid.
I'm ready.
Flip us. Here we go.
I do my little intro speech and then I'm ready. So if you've never heard of Flipgrid or used it before, this is an introduction to its awesomeness, and you can use it for any age level, any grade level, even adult, which I'll show you a little bit later, that it works for everyone. So let me get my screen shared. Let's see. All right, so getting started with Flipgrid, and there's my name, of course, and at Mrs. Payton First is my Twitter handle. Flipgrid is awesome, and The mission of Flipgrid is for every learner on the planet to share their voice and respect the diverse voices of others. So let me show you a quick video about it, and if you haven't heard of it, you can see the awesomeness of it. Can you hear it?
And if there's no sound, you'll have to narrate it for us. Let me see. But the visuals are pretty good.
Hey, Missy, there's no sound, so if you just want to kind of explain what's going on.
All right, so back to Flipgrid. What's excellent about Flipgrid is that it is free. It is free for everyone. And all you have to do is sign up for an account, and then you can start using Flipgrid. So the very first thing, once you have your account, is to create a topic. So a topic is a discussion prompt, any question, idea, whatever you want your community, whether it's your community, the classroom, other adults, any group, you come up with a topic, and then you can start recording. So how I used it in my classroom is my students were learning about the difference between living and non-living things. So I had them, and this is first grade in September, very first time we've done Flipgrid, and my topic was tell why something is living and tell why something is non-living. And then you decide, are you going to share it where everyone can see each other's videos? Do you want people to comment on each other's videos? And it's so easy to send your flip code out to everyone. You can do it in Google Classroom, you can do it in Microsoft. That Flipgrid will create QR codes, and so you can share it any way that you want to get it to your community. And what's fun is that, as you'll notice from the video, there's no sound on this, that there's text, there's emojis, they can do fun things, and the kids just love using it. So once you have shared your topic and you've sent it to Google Classroom or wherever you're doing it, here are just some examples of what you can do. And right at the top, if you can think it, you can Flipgrid it. You can use it preschool through 8. They can do book reviews. They can partner and share videos. They can do science experiments and anything. High school, art shows, sharing any thinking about their learning. And as you can see, families can use it, staff can use it. And in a minute, I'll show you, we actually did it as a staff when we first went on quarantine. And we kind of made a staff video on how to check in on checking in with everyone and see how they're doing. So Flipgrid, everything you need is available. They have, if you're not sure what you want to use, they have over 25,000 prompts, activities, and you can look something up. I know I was looking up something about the seasons, winter, spring, and if you just put that in, the Disco Library, they have lots of things that other creators have shared, and you can share your ideas. And Flipgrid.com, help.flipgrid.com, is full of everything you could ever need about Flipgrid. If you need help, if you're looking for something in particular. So if you're not familiar and you want to get to it, right here on their help page, how to use the camera, how to record and submit a video, how to get students started. And I mean, they just, whatever you need help with, Flipgrid has it all covered for you. And it's just awesome. And they also have videos. So for example, here's a video for getting started with students, and step by step, record the video, review the video, take a selfie. And that's something too. So when you give your kids, and I'm sure probably older kids love it just as much as younger kids, adults too, after you record your video, and you can redo it. So if you aren't happy with it, and my kids picked up right away that if they messed up, they wanted to start over again, and they would do that. You record the video, you check it, and then at the end, you take a selfie. And then that's where you can see all the videos. And they love doing that. And then you submit your video, and everyone can see it and share it. So if you are not finding enough information on the website, which you will be overwhelmed with information, I also follow Flipgrid on Twitter and Instagram, and I learn new things every day that people are posting, hashtag Flipgrid for all, different Flipgrid fever. There are so many great ideas from other educators that you'll have so much information and be really excited about what you want to try. Here's something, oh, let me go back. The Flipgrid blog is amazing. If you go to ideas, for example, here we go, remote learning with Flipgrid. You know, I don't know if all of you or how you're starting back. We're actually starting back Tuesday with all the kids, and we're really hoping that that we can keep doing that. But if we do have to go back to remote learning, Flipgrid has help along the way, helpful videos. And something that I like too is that they have information that you can send to parents. You can get information, you can send it to parents. When we were in quarantine and I was using Google Classroom, I put every Friday, we did Flipgrid Friday, and they responded to a topic. We were on quarantine in April in our topic of recycling. I had them create a project with anything in their house that was going to be thrown away, and they made like these trash bugs, and they were sharing it. They were showing what they made, what they used, and talking about their learning. So I mean, it's just an amazing. So basically, if you look right here in the middle, this is what you might look like if you were a student. You can see other students' videos, and you see the topic. And like I said, whatever platform we were using, whether it's Google Classroom or Microsoft, Flipgrid works for everything. We also used, when we created QR codes, we did a video for Thanksgiving about what we were thankful for, and we created the Flipgrid code. So they created a card and they took it home, and the directions are on it, how to scan it if they didn't have a QR code, and they could see their student's video right on their phone. And so they just loved it. Now, here's an example, and I asked a couple people in my building if it was all right. This is a way that adults used it. So I set up a grid for family time for our SES family Flipgrid, and just talking about how we were doing, a check-in, which you could absolutely do with the kids. you know, how's it going? We're in quarantine. This is something that we've never had before. And so this would be a teacher view. So I can see that Kelly T made a video and Diana. And I asked Andreas if I could show a quick segment of his video.
But sound seems to not come out, so I'll narrate. And that was back in the bearded days. Seems to only come through remotely, but that's okay. Just
Did it not come through?
That's fine. Doesn't matter. I think I just have a good day and have a good time, and that has to do more with Zoom and nothing to do with Flipgrid.
Oh, okay. And you noticed your full beard, by
That's
the
right.
way, your quarantine. But
Very
so
easy.
anyway, that's what it would look like. And I know you can't hear the sound, which of course always happens. Where is our superintendent? He made a video to join us. And, you know, of course, my video, my dog is in it. Another fun thing that I just got done with a workout and I jumped right on and did a video. But you can use Flipgrid to create videos for your students. Like, there are so many things that you can do with Flipgrid that it's just awesome. And this page has some of the many people that work at Flipgrid who I follow, a lot of them on Twitter and Instagram, and they are constantly sharing freebies, posting ideas from everybody around the world. And so if you can think it, you can create it on Flipgrid. And I think if you've never used it, you are gonna love using Flipgrid. And there are, where am I here? Did I stop sharing my screen? Am I back?
Yep.
Okay. So there are, you can use it for any subject, any age level, and you can share topics, you can copy topics, and it's versatile. You can use this tool for anything, and the kids love it. I know when Dan and I were co-teaching tech things, they were so excited. Can we make a video? Can we make a video? And an idea that I had for conferences, I had my kids make a video to teach their parents about first grade. And then I shared it at the conference, and a couple moms even started crying because they just loved it so much. But there's so much you can do with it. You can use it with staff. You can make videos for students. You can, any subject area, and it's a really versatile tool. So reach out to Flipgrid if you have any questions. They have so many resources, as I showed you online, and they will help you out with anything that you need. So,
Hey, Missy, can I jump in real quick?
Yeah, please.
Going back to what Missy was saying with the, she had her parents made videos for her parents. The way that we did that is with Google, or excuse me, not Google, with Flipgrid, when students record a video, you as the teacher, every time they submit something, you can get a QR code. So their video comes attached with a QR code. And so what we did, or what Missy did, is she printed those QR codes out and put them, you know, on the little image or whatever little craft it was for the students or for the parent. And then the parent, all they had to do was open up their camera. They, on their iPhone or Android device, they just scanned over that QR code and it went right into the Flipgrid app, or it went right to the Flipgrid website, and their students were now talking to them. What's even crazier that some of the parents found out, which is really neat, if they have the Flipgrid app, it actually opens up in kind of an AR, VR situation. So the students are like floating. They're like if so it's artwork that's talking on the wall, you can turn around and come back, and that artwork, that student is still talking on the wall in that spot. So that generation of the QR code is a really nice feature for distribution purposes of videos for parents. If you wanted to, you know, I've seen it in hallways where they've done like Flipgrid galleries where teachers have literally just printed the QR codes down the hallway, and parents and other people in the building will go from QR code to QR code to QR code to see the responses that these students have submitted. So it's a really neat way to kind of bring it to life.
And you know, I saw a really cool idea that the teachers made a video about themselves with a QR code, and they were hanging up like in the hallways. So if you wanted to, you know, find something out about a teacher or see them, that they could use that QR code. So it's just a really amazing tool, and they are always coming out with new things. So if you haven't used it, you have to try it. And
Missy,
what's nice, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, can you walk us through it? Just share your screen and like set up a Flipgrid. Ask
Sure.
us a question, and then let's see if we can get some responses, because we got plenty of time.
All right.
Let's do it. And for those of you playing around at home, open up another tab, get ready, and then let's see if we can make the magic happen.
And what's nice is, you know, obviously that it's free. So that's like a huge bonus. So you can see some topics that I have created, living and non-living. So if you want to create a topic, you just click on add a topic. And so let's see, how about first concert, I'm stealing this from you, Dan, you have ever gone to. So then you can add a little bit more if you have anything else you want to add. Describe. I don't think my typing fingers are working today. Describe the concert. And you can schedule the recording time, which is nice. You can make it short or longer. And this is something I found out. If you put, I think the first one I made was 5 minutes. If you make it 5 minutes, there are some kids that will go on for 5 minutes. So I kept my kids 1.5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes, depending. I had some kids that would have gone the full 10 minutes. So you can also add images. So let's see. You can, oh, I don't have anything on here. You can add a GIF, which, let's see, concert. And then when you show the topic, you will see the concert. And you can limit it to student email, student username, and then when you create the topic, right there is the code. So what I would do is use it directly in Google Classroom, or if you want to generate your flip code, you can copy and paste it.
Missy, can you paste that into the chat? Let's paste it into the chat.
Okay.
So
do I know how to do that? Let's see.
Let's do. Copy it, open the chat, paste, boom.
All right.
That's how we like to do it here. We like to live on the edge and learn as we go and see what, there it goes.
There it is.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to play along. I'm going to see what happens. Flipgrid, I'm going to click on it.
You're not allowed to pick EDM.
And I'm going to join with Google because that's what it tells me to do. So that's what I'm doing. That makes super simple, especially for those of you or those of us that are working in a Google domain, right? So if we have kids that are working in a Google domain, let's do it. Record a response. It's going to ask you about giving Flipgrid, take charge of your camera there. Let's see. Click anywhere to dismiss. And we're here and we're recording, and who knows, because I'm set up in the Zoom meeting already. So for those of you playing at home, try it out. See if you can make a recording.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here and we're recording.
This was a great topic too, because I learned a lot about, I've done this at conferences that have been at, and you learn a lot about the people around you by their first concert. Someone went to Weird Al, was their first concert. Anyone familiar with Shana Na? That's one of the first concerts. Mine was AC/DC, so, you know. But it's really great. And I like it too because the students can give feedback to each other. If you allow them to view and give feedback, they can send messages, they could put emojis. It's a great way to have kids interact with each other and respond and hear other viewpoints and learn from each other.
Let's open it up. I submitted mine. I want to see how fast it comes in there, Missy.
Oh,
Look,
you know what? I have a mouse for my other computer, and I have one at home, and I keep putting my hand on it, and that's not the mouse for this one.
Oh, look at that.
There we go. So, and since we probably can't hear the sound, but there's Dan. Oh.
What's he saying?
He said, well, Dan, why don't you tell us? It was the wallflowers and counting crows, right?
Yep. So my first concert was the Wallflowers and Counting Crows. And I said in the video that the coolest part was as we were walking to the venue, I was like 8 years old or 9 years old. The lead singer of the Counting Crows drove by on a golf cart and gave me like an air high five. And from that moment on, I was obsessed with music and especially going to concerts. It like was awesome. So.
And something like this, when you're making videos and the kids are sharing them, I would hear them have conversations about the videos when they weren't even doing Flipgrid. Hey, you talked about this in your video. Now, Andreas, we won't be able to hear it, but you tell us.
I don't even know what I said. I forget. I'm just excited about the Flipgrid. Now, I want to share with everyone at home. So like some of the stuff that we're doing today, this conference, for example, we just dreamed it up 2 weeks ago. And so we're not experts at some of this stuff. And I will say what we find is that when you have a webcam and you have audio and you're trying to record somewhere else and you're in a Zoom call, and sometimes it gets a little complex and a little bit complicated, and we're okay with that. So the key, I think, is to bring back to what Missy said, is that you got to be ready to learn with your students, just like we're all learning here together today. You know, so if the sound doesn't work, you got to improvise and get ready and make it happen. And again, like, you know, we're taking sound from Flipgrid through Zoom out to the rest of the world, which, you know, if it doesn't, I can hear a little bit. It seems like it's not going through all the time, but we're excited just that you're here, that you're joining us, and hopefully we can spark a little bit of a fire in terms of some new tools. Missy, go ahead, refresh it. I want to see if someone else did it.
You know, and also too, I could send messages. Ooh, we have somebody new, Nicole. I could send messages. You can send feedback to the students. You can do a video feedback, which I did some, or you can send an email right back to them.
Yeah, why don't you show that? Do that. Work one of us, and then you know.
Hi,
like,
Nicole.
There's Nicole. But do sort of actions. Show us what we can do in the feedback session. Show us what we can do in the edit session.
I'm sorry. I was hearing Nicole, and I didn't hear that last part. Sorry.
So go through and work us through a feedback session there, Missy. Like, what could you do? What are some of the actions? What can we, in terms of what we can do with the videos?
So Dan, I'm going to comment. So I can download a video. I can make a selfie. I can, right here where it says add to mixtapes. That's where you can keep all of everyone's ideas and everything that you can share. Hold on, I gotta move my, doesn't the Zoom like person thing always get in the way?
I think so. You know, it depends on if you have multiple screens. Again, in the last couple months, you know, some of us have tried to get good at working from home or working from wherever we're at, and it's certainly helpful to have more than one screen when you have video calls and things like that.
Yeah, and you're welcome, Dan. I froze it right on that picture. So here, you can add a comment. You can, it should look like this. I think it's having trouble because we're on a Zoom meeting, but you can give feedback. You can record it, like I said, or you can also add a rubric where you can multiple ideas. You can give we can give him points on his performance, and Dan, you did a great job. And you can copy the link, or I can just hit email and it'll send it right back to Dan. So for my students, you know, especially when we started where they maybe aren't reading yet, so they wouldn't be able to read the comments yet, you can record the video back to them, and or you can send it. I also send it through email a lot over our quarantine period to give the kids feedback also. So
that seems to work really well, right, Missy? If especially if students are using their Google accounts, right, it's kind of grabbing their email address automatically, so you don't even have to think about that. And
yeah,
again,
you can put it right into Classroom, like
yep.
boom, and it's really quick. And you can, like I said, you can share your topics. Like you can share them with other educators. You can save them. You can use them again. I don't want to show you any of the ones that have kids in them, but here when we were doing sequence writing, how to build a snowman. So sometimes I had them where they were doing some writing and then they were reading it and sharing it and demonstrating what they were doing. We talked about community helpers. Who's a community helper? Why is their job important? And I mean, there's just no end to what kind of topics. And I think it's really pertinent now that if we go back to remote learning, or you may already be doing remote learning, that you can get that social emotional piece with Flipgrid. It doesn't have to be, you know, math related or language arts related. It can just be a check-in. How are you doing? What's going on? And I think that's really meaningful for the kids. And they really need that.
And remember
So,
too, you know, so again, remember Missy's doing this with first graders, and so first graders can do it and engage with it. Almost any other student can do it, and it's super simple to do. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I think we forget a lot of the time that we try to make it perfect. We try to make it like styled and polished, and what it doesn't have to be. It's better that you're able to connect, have them connect some things and record some thoughts than to worry about the production value necessarily. So Flipgrid is a huge asset. Missy, does it work on mobile devices?
yes. So, and once you get the app on there, then you can, like Dan said, get the QR codes and make videos. And I even had the kids, for example, when they were doing the living, non-living, they had a dry erase board. And one of my students, she was like, #1 student, first time we were doing it, she held up her board and she had drawn a line and she's like, well, here you have a tree, and a tree is living because, I mean, and her thinking was just so much more than had I just been doing a whole group lesson. Okay, tell me something about living things. What makes it living? And Dan and I especially noticed that the kids were sometimes sharing so much more than we even thought they were capable of. We had them watch a video. It was a Cookie Monster video about living and non-living. It was just a silly little video that I had always used. And then we just talked about it, a whole group. And then they had to watch it and then make a video. And they were, well, #1, it has this. #2, it's, you know, breathes air. And I really think for older students too, that it's just a more relaxing way. And I actually, some of the parents, I was like, wow, I can't believe how great her video was and how comfortable. And she's like, oh, she carries her phone around and pretends she's a blogger, like an old phone. Yeah. And so she was like a pro at it. I'm like, wow. And they really do know a lot about technology, and they picked it up. The first time we did it, the second time we did it, I would say, and Dan, you probably agree, the majority of them knew how to get to Flip. They clicked it, they hit, you know, okay, allow, I'm ready to start. And they were like, have at it. They were going for it. And another thing too, and this is kind of just, if you do teach younger students and you're just not sure about tech, one of the biggest challenges, I think, is younger students with logging on, learning passwords and things. And the very first time Dan and I, so September, first grade, so they're still kindergartners, we gave them the directions, we were walking around, and then I noticed that there were a handful of kids who logged in like 10 seconds. They were ready to go. So then I had them helping. And when we would use Flipgrid, they would be like, oh, Mrs. Payton, I don't know how to get to this. And another student would say, oh, I'll help him. And they were collaborating that way. I found that not just the videos and sharing their learning, but all the collaborative conversations that they were having was so much bigger, just having that extra tool.
Yeah.
They were still learning, and but using the Flipgrid as a tool was really engaging, and they loved it. And I think even older students too, they're really used to using tech. They're probably better at it than we are. Yeah. And you can use it even at the university level.
Great way to get some qualitative data, right? I see we have a music teacher on here. We do have a music teacher at our K3 building, and we have Annette from Kent State University, one of our partner schools or partner universities that we work with. And so Flipgrid is a tool that we can use K-12 plus. And so look for it, noodle around with it, poke a stick at it, see what happens. It's super easy to use. Missy, you need last words, and then we're going to wrap up. If you have questions, let us know. I put 2 links in the chat box. One is for where we're going to host all the recordings. So if you want to come back, and then I think we're going to ask our presenters to put their slide decks there as well. And then, of course, if you want that certificate of attendance, no magic code, just click on the link, fill out your name, make sure that it's spelled correctly, and then select the session that you want the certificate for, because we trust you. We trust that you're doing the right thing. So next up at noon, Dan Stitzel is going to come back with us and do Ed Puzzle 101. That'll be at noon. And then at, let me get the rest of the schedule here so we can promote ourselves. At noon, we have Ed Puzzle 101 with Dan Stitzel. At 1 p.m., we have Beautiful Data with Google Sheets. That'll be me and lots of spreadsheets. But if you are either new to spreadsheets or want to learn sort of some of the basics of how to make it really work for you, that's a valuable session. And it'll add on to what we talked about in the Google Forms session. So if you want to make sure that you can style data and make it do what you want it to do, that's a good session. 2 p.m. we have Molly Cloder, Google Classroom Basics. So if you are still new to Google Classroom, here's your chance. Molly does a great job and she'll get you up and running in no time. 3 p.m. we're talking about parent communications with Courtney Rugaber. And then at 4, way at the end of the afternoon, we have a session on Gmail basics and some of the new features there. And we hope that you'll be exhausted by the end of the day. So there you go. Have a great morning.
Be careful, you might love spreadsheets if they come to your session.
You will love spreadsheets.
Catchy.
Yes, I'm going to have my daughter attend. She's 12. She doesn't know that yet, but she'll be there learning about spreadsheets. So be part of what she needs to do today. So have a great morning. We're going to stop the recording.